Here we are then for another episode of the Lewis Hamilton career mode. 2 rounds remain. This one and the next one, the finale in Las Vegas. Now guys, the previous round, go check it out. Link in the top right. Spoiler warning ahead. We're going to talk about a few different things that happened in that previous episode of Baku, in which, it was a bit of a topsy-turvy race, but generally a good weekend for us. As you can see, post-race we also hit all of our targets, picked up a few extra specialist goals, and we're going to start off today's video purchasing an upgrade for the chassis. Now, that's going to help us out. It's a major for weight reduction. In the meantime, we're going to sim ahead on the timeline, and we do have a couple of failures as we gradually approach the final season break before the last 2 rounds.
Okay, mate, I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but I'm afraid to say that some of them have failed quality control. We're going to need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
So with that done, as you can see, we are going to take care of those failures and those issues that we had on the upgrade front. So yeah, just going to skip ahead. We've returned from that season break, so more upgrade work being taken care of here, more things being tweaked as we keep on moving forward, and eventually we arrive at Interlagos. Now, as you can see, we have lost a gearbox upgrade with the balancing out the field migration chip. So that's actually not bad because it doesn't affect our net performance. So any upgrades we've brought this weekend on top of the others are going to help us out massively. The big issue here is our engine. We are going to have to take a grid drop for control electronics and, more importantly, energy store. We have too much wear on the 2 units and nothing more in the in the back end to use, so we have to take an extra. Now in the championship, Verstappen has a 9-point gap over us heading into this race. We can win the constructors in today's episode depending on how the race goes, and of course in this one there is a sprint, so extra points up for grabs, so things could get very, very spicy. So let's start off with a few more updates. The forecast is dry. As I mentioned, there's a sprint but no rain forecast for any session, so no surprises there. We then go to the performance chart, and because we didn't lose any performance updates, we go from strength to strength, and we're not just the only team that's upgraded. Other teams have also brought improvements elsewhere, but you can see generally a very, very good off-season for us, or season break, as we've extended our gap over Aston Martin and Mercedes and Red Bull and Ferrari, and we're looking pretty healthy heading into this one, so hopefully that translates to on-track performance. Now you can see here we're behind Paul Chair in currently our practice race runs, and we're right at the end of it, so luckily he's not quite gonna hinder us.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some.
He actually helps us out as we go a bit quicker down the pit straight. Now with that done, we finish, as you can see, with a bit high tyre wear, above average, but fuel consumption pretty decent. We're going to take no risks though on that front, and you can see our lap times pretty consistent. Gradually got a bit worse. I'd say there's about a 4/10 margin from lap 1 to lap 5, but generally they're pretty decent, and pace-wise also looking pretty healthy. We finish up with 160 points. Not a lot because it's a sprint weekend, so we don't get the 3 FP sessions to get all the runs done. So yeah, I want to point out one thing that happened in the last episode. We have officially, finally maxed out Lewis Hamilton to 99 on every single stat. But now arrives the pain. We have to take this new engine. Now, logically, and this game doesn't do logic, but logically, and what I believe the rules are in real life, grid penalties apply to the main race and not to the sprint. So we're going to take these components for the main race in mind, but that doesn't stop us from qualifying in the shootout.
Atmospheric tracks don't come much better than this. We're in Brazil for qualifying. Let's get some laps at the limit.
Now, as I mentioned, because those new components don't stop us from qualifying in the sprint shootout, also doesn't stop us from getting dropped in the sprint race grid. We can basically treat this first part of the weekend as a freebie. So we're going to try to get pole, hopefully win the sprint race and get off to the right foot on this weekend, and eventually obviously retire from the main qualifying and take part in the race starting from the back of the grid. So important that we try to win the sprint and get off to a good start. Now our first lap has already given us P1 on mediums, which is insanity. I will admit that AI seemed a bit slow in this session. I don't know why they were so off pace, especially with the practice. They just seemed to be a bit weird. I didn't quite get a lap in. We are doing a short qualifying format, so it's not the usual sprint shootout where you got the 3 parts, you know, SQ1, SQ2, SQ3. It's just literally a 10-minute session, so maybe the AI are not fully calibrated for that. Anyway, currently we're first and we're going quicker. We're nearly 2 tenths up, as currently we have a bit of traffic ahead in the form of Esteban Ocon. I'm hoping to clear him just before the last corner, which we do. We get squeezed onto a bit of a tight line and we lose a bit of time at the last corner on the way in, but we do get a good exit on the way out, and up the hill we carry that momentum using all the battery, and we're going to improve here. Purple and quicker still across the line, and we get back to the garage, and with a 1 minute 5.2, I'm quite happy to actually retire here, because we can save some tyres for the rest of the weekend, which we're going to need, especially, you know, we're going to start from the back of the grid in the race. So we retire. However, we have a 20 place grid drop. Now, I assume that's going to be applied for the race. Either way, it's pole in the sprint, Lando third, Verstappen splits us, but we do it on mediums, which kind of highlights how fast our car is, and the upgrades are working really, really well. So a great sprint shootout, but now we move in to the sprint race here.
So it is all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. It's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Russell, Gasly, Stroll, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Perez, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Teo Porcher, Joe, Ocon, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Behrman, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. So, a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
Now, to my surprise, we're actually starting the race from the back of the grid. I thought grid drops apply to the main race, not the sprint. So clearly, either I'm out of the loop, or that's probably another bug which hasn't been tested in this game. Surprise, surprise. So it's not the worst thing in the world, because hopefully it should mean we can do a full qualifying and fight for maximum points. Now, I feel like the AI was super slow in the sprint shootout for whatever reason. Their practice pace was a lot better, so I still don't fully trust that I'm this quick. Either way, everyone has gone for softs from what I can tell, as far as the eye can see in the sprint race, and we're going to start on the mediums and basically just try and replicate what we saw in 2021. So yeah, I don't actually half mind this glitch, because it gives us a chance to fight for the win and keep our title hopes alive. So for this one, Verstappen on pole, it's going to be tricky to beat him, but if we can try and get into the top 5, that would be an insane recovery. We're going to have to get aggressive and push the pace. Hopefully the new power unit does the job, and also we're going to find out again if that sprint shootout pace was legit or if the AI actually just had a bit of a weird session because it wasn't short qualifying mode and they're not fully prepared. Either way, race pace time. Let's get to work. Here we go. Lights, revs, action. Away we go then. A real spinny start as we get underway. No real concerns about being this far back. I'm going to try and see if I can set up a bit of an exit here. Out of 2 through 3. Dispatching Berman in the Williams Infinity Renault right away. Albon just in front. We beat him to the inside line. He tried to defend it, but we just snatch it away. And we move up a place as we now head into the middle sector. Again, opportunities here to make overtakes should arrive as we slide up the inside of Ocon. Got a yellow. Don't think anyone's actually retired, just slow cars, slow pace. Joe as well, going super slow in the Audi, unlike in Monza all those races ago. So we'll dispatch him as well. And now we end lap 1, already in 16th place. Piastri, next car ahead. Norris in the race, lead Verstappen second. We're going to keep the battery on here.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
And there we go, straight through on Oscar Piastri, around the outside of the center S's. Right then, 15th. Good start. The race will come to us later on, so we just have to be patient. And these first few laps, we've had a good opener. Now things are going to get a bit more interesting. Sonoda on mediums as well, so let's see how many more cars opting for the same compound choice. Right then, pressuring Ricciardo here through the middle sector. Up the inside at the hairpin, nice move. Up to 14th. So now we have Yuki on the same compound in the DHL Haas. And then Paul Chair after that, then Bottas, and then we're hopefully closing in on Hulkenberg for a few points. We're going to use the battery here to try and get Sonoda. We sneak on the inside line. Bit of contact there as we bang wheels, but we'll take the inside and take the position as we head into 13th. Absolutely flying at the minute. Was close to Paul Chair, not able to get as close as I was to Ricciardo a lap ago, but now we're going to be tucked in nicely as we head into the final corner. We'll just prepare the exit and we'll try and get him into turn 1, possibly even get Bottas down to turn 4. Here we go, waiting to use the battery in the second part of the straight. Outbraking Paul Chair, but I don't want to take Bottas out. Lost a bit of time on the exit, as a result had to leave room on the inside of turn 2. Using everything here to try and get Bottas. And we go through, up into P11, late send on the brakes. And now we're just 1 off a top 10, obviously no points for P10 in the sprint, so still got to keep climbing. But we're absolutely cooking here, not even half race distance. Not quite able to get within DRS here. If you watched my league racing video from yesterday, I'll leave it linked in the top right, we had a similar issue where not having DRS was costing us quite badly on this pitch straight. So we've got to keep pushing here to try and get in. Right, we're in, we've got it. Just need to get a bit of a recharge, but we're there. I think if we can get to the front of this train, that should be P5. That would be a decent result, I think. Right then, here we go. Hulkenberg, next car on the agenda. We'll try and get him using the least amount of battery possible so that we can have some remaining for the cars ahead. Here we go, pulling to the right side. Just going to extend the braking zone. Whoa, snap and a half there. Hulkenberg with a snap of his own. Definitely not ideal. We'll go back though for seconds and try to get this one done. Second time of asking. And this time we get the job done. So yeah, surviving a bit of a scare.
Green flag.
Oh, behind, I think. Yep, behind. Somebody's out. Too late for a safety car now. Could still get a VSC, but doesn't really make much of a difference to us right now. It's Paul Chair. Look at the closing speed on Perez, who's flashing. We're going for it. Absolutely got to go for it. Can't waste any time. Critical pass there on Verstappen's teammate. Stroll next up. Got to get these moves done. One after the other. We've got 2 Ferraris, 2 Aston Martin Hondas ahead of us. Same as Hulkenberg. Don't have a ton of battery here, but we'll just leave it in the hot lap. Hopefully that's enough to put some inroads on the Aston Martin, although it seems like Stroll's got a bit more straight line speed initially. Now we're starting to reel him in. We force him defensive. Let's not lose the back end this time. Nope, still going. Well held, but rear tyre starting to let go of all the overtaking we've had to do. Just struggling now for rear grip. A lap and a half to go. P5 is right there if we can get it. We're going to have to get really stuck in here on the last lap. We need to try and have a full charge if possible. Right then, last lap time. Alonso pulling. Won't have any DRS from anybody. Let's see. Pierre will get the first crack. Leclerc flashing away, so is Gasly up ahead. Third time the charm. Can we get a move done without losing the back end on the exit? There it is. Right, let's get close. Gasly might challenge Alonso here. The Aston definitely pulls pretty quickly on the straight. We can do this now. We're in the right position. We had to get Leclerc, and we have. They're battling up ahead. Verstappen leads right now, so definitely not optimal for us. I wonder if we can pull off a bit of a sneak attack here. Top 4 losing a lot of time battling on this last lap. We're so close to Pierre Gasly here. I thought he was going to defend the inside. Instead, we're going to try and go for the outside here. We get it done. Got to try and close in Alonso. Could be a run to the line. Could be a dash to the line. We've got to try and get it. Exit not great. Got the battery in a little bit early. Alonso doesn't have DRS. I think we can get this. I think we can. Come on. We've been quick on the straight all day. Oh no.
Difficult strategy today.
Now Verstappen actually lost the win over the line to Lando Norris, literally at the death, 0.039, but Lando Norris wins the sprint and we finish in 6th. We miss out on P5, beating Alonso. The exit out of the last corner cost us. If we delve into the standings, you can see heading into the main qualifying and the main race, the gap is 13 points. So it's all still to play for, and it's in our hands. If we win the race here and we win the last race in Vegas, we win the title. So game on, qualifying time.
Atmospheric tracks don't come much better than this. We're in Brazil for qualifying. Let's get some laps at the limit.
Now then, here we go. Time for regular qualifying, which wasn't meant to be part of the video. I thought the grid drop would apply to this part of the session as we get a screen freeze through the hairpin. So I'll actually take a little flashback here to run this corner back and sort that out. But yeah, because we've served our penalty in the sprint portion of this weekend, we can qualify as normal, and there's no reason why we can't go for pole and win the race and get maximum points on this part of the weekend's action. So the sprint didn't go to plan, but this absolutely could, and we're going purple through sector 2, so we're absolutely sending it already. And this is my first time running the softs in this setting, as we qualified on mediums, of course, in the sprint shootout. Over the line, our first lap of the day, a 1:05.1, which is only half a tenth quicker than what we did in the sprint shootout on mediums, so not a lot of difference in it. We go for a cool down lap, and we're going to go for another push, and we're going to try and squeeze another lap out of these tyres. So heading towards the centre rest, we're going to brake about, I'd say, at the where the green cement on the right runs out on the entry. Then stay tight through turn 3, flat out through 2. Got a car leaving the pits, which hopefully will get out of the way. Brake just before the 50. 5th gear, tip the nose in. Don't take too much inside curb, and then just let the car roll out of there as we head uphill. Double right-hander, usually flat in default cars, but a slight lift with these upgraded cars. Then into the hairpin. Didn't really get all the apex there, but we just about pull it back. Get super tight to this curb, get all over it on the inside as we now head into the second hairpin. Try and pick up a late apex here to get the exit, which will carry you down the hill. And then at this point, just square up the braking zone, nice and straight, down to 4th. Just kiss the inside curb and let the car rotate as you use all the run-off curb. And now up to the line we go. My delta's bugged because of that flashback, so not really sure how much quicker we are as we run up to the line. Purple middle, and it's a purple overall, a 104.9, and that is the benchmark. We retire from the session, nobody was getting near that, and we go even quicker than the sprint shootout. The AI do find a bit more pace, which is more what I expected from them in the sprint shootout, about 0.3 quicker, but still couldn't lay a glove on us, and we found more pace on those softs. So crucially, we start on pole. Max Verstappen is down in 8th place, so that is huge, and suddenly this race is wide open.
Welcome to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner, and just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. We're racing then at Interlagos, a historic 2.7-mile circuit and one of the few anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. 15 corners in total, 9 to the left and 6 to the right, with a technical middle section opening up to a flat-out Sector 3 that gives us our best passing opportunity down into Turn 1. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Stroll, Verstappen, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Bottas, Joe, Behrman, Albon, Perez, Ricciardo, and Théo Pourchaire. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, they have, and it's, rule number 1, beat your teammate. They're the one that share the same equipment as you, and yes, the cars can vary and set up from race to race and depending on who has which style, but essentially they're your barometer, the yardstick. If you can beat them, that's the first job you have to do, and it looks like it's going their way, doesn't it? And they need to carry on this momentum, this energy through the rest of the season.
Now, interestingly, the roles are reversed. Max Verstappen starts from P7 on the grid. Lando Norris is P14, so we've got a pretty decent opportunity now to get those points back and actually close the gap in quite a big way. Now, I'm going to go against the grain of what the traditional original strategy is. A medium, or soft medium, sorry, is going to be the preferred option. I feel like my tyre wear is a bit high and we've got pace, so I'm not going to risk struggling on tyres. So we're going to go mediums to start, hards in the second stint, and that should hopefully keep us safe on tyres. Fuel, 4 extra laps of fuel, again taking no risk. We've got the pace here today and we should be able to manage it. If we do get overtaken by a couple of cars at the start, it's all good. Hopefully by lap 6 onwards we should be quicker and we can drive away, and hopefully, if all goes well, this should be a pretty boring race. So hopefully that's the outcome. We get the points at the end and we go to Vegas with a shot at the title. Anyway, let's get into it. From starting last in the sprint to starting on pole for the main race, here we go. We've got a huge chance to hopefully bag some big points. Mercedes opting for mediums also. Leclerc, Alonso, the only ones on softs. Our starts haven't been great, but we kind of need to get a decent one today to give ourselves a good shot. Let's get to it. Here we go. Brazilian Grand Prix, main event, uphill start. And it is a good one. Down towards turn 1, we're just going to cover the inside. Leclerc with a decent start, tries to have a look. We leave some room at turn 2, but we hold the race lead. Alonso up to 3rd, Stroll up to 5th. So those on the softs looking pretty sharp off the line. Leclerc around the outside of turn 4 will just run him out of town and maintain the lead here as we filter into the middle sector of the lap. So exactly what the doctor ordered. No idea what compound Verstappen's gone for, to be fair, so I guess if he's on softs we might see him pop up sometime soon. I'm going to assume it's mediums as we have a brief yellow flag, I think similar to what we had in the sprint, just a bit of slow cars, no actual retirement. I think we'll get passed by Leclerc, to be fair, maybe even Alonso in these first few laps. No surprises really, but hopefully we can claw them back later on. Just got to try and stay ahead of Sainz really for now. Short-term goal. Alright, here comes Leclerc then. Does he have a look? Yes, he does.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Should be able to hold this with DRS just sitting behind Leclerc, so this will be a decent position for us for the foreseeable future. Just got to keep Alonso at bay down towards turn 4, which should be doable. We've got decent straight line speed, so there we go. Right, now the race begins. Alonso, purple on that one. Still keeping up a good pace, but everybody staying in the train. Norris showing his pace there as he tries to fight back through the field. Interesting, I've just realised Verstappen's not in this train. He's actually leading the next group of cars. I wonder if he got damage, possibly. He's forming a bit of a train behind him, so I wonder if Verstappen has car trouble. If so, the AI don't usually get their wing fixed, which means he might very likely drop out of the point. So if we win today, suddenly the entire script flips and we head into the last race leading the championship. Let's see, let's keep a gap, or keep an eye on Verstappen's gap. At the minute, he's actually opening up a bit of a margin to the Haas behind. So actually, I think he might have just lost a bit of time or lost DRS. Either way, Alonso feeling racy. Goes through. Not going to put up too much of a fight. Again, those soft tyres are still working. Let's just keep eyes on Verstappen for now. Hello, Alonso. Leclerc having a bit of a scrap. We're just going to let this happen. Sainz lurking behind. Don't really want to get sucked into this too much, but the AI want to scrap. I think it might be getting to that time where we're going to have to try and pull.
Get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push.
Leclerc damage.
Oh, mate, great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely for the rest of this race.
I was saying it's getting to that time where we might have to start pulling soon because things are kicking off. Verstappen's catching back up. I don't think he has damage. He doesn't have DRS, which is different. So that tells me I think he might have started on hards or mediums and just couldn't keep up. But now with Leclerc having car trouble, that's going to bring him into play. So it's game on again. Right, we're going to try and get both Spaniards here. I'm not sure if Leclerc has damage. He's actually keeping up okay. Either that or the pace isn't that strong. Either way, we're going to put everyone to the test now as we slip to the inside. Sainz also using everything as we go 3 wide over the line. We're going to get Alonso. We're going to outbrake Sainz and we're going to go into the race lead as we now look to try and kick on. I don't have a ton of battery here, so we're going to have to play this smart. Defend the inside. Sainz has a look around the outside, but we'll just hang him out to dry. Right, now then, Verstappen's caught up. He's broken the cars behind, so let's see if we can now drop this train and set some pace of our own. We've got no battery, so we've got to try and charge in the short term. We'll drop everything out of the last corner. We're not going to break Sainz. He's going to stick with us for now, but we can try and keep pushing here. We'll use everything, like I said, to try and build a gap. A little bit wide there. It's proving difficult. Gap slowly going up. but it's going to take a few laps of this to try and break the elastic. This time we might have it. It's close. Keep it tidy through the last corner. Bit of oversteer, but we've got it. Elastic has snapped. Also, Alonso has lost DRS, and so has Stroll. So now the race will open up. Let's see how things start to take its natural course over the next few laps as we arrive at the pit window. Oof.
Okay, clear.
Yellow. Who is it? Nobody. I wonder if maybe Leclerc had a moment because Russell's up to 4th. My rears are getting hot after that mistake. I've had a horrible middle sector, just a horrible lap in general. I feel like the car is going to spin at any point. We've got to try and get that rear right under control, so our Sainz is just closing back in a little bit, so we'll have to use battery to compensate.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
Still nobody pitting. Well, I'm sure it won't be long. Mercedes looking pretty strong right now. There's Verstappen, first Sainz in P5. This is our scheduled lap, but we're going to go a little bit longer. Let's see if some of the soft runners pit. I think they're probably going to go to like lap 16 and go for mediums, so no pit stops just yet. Right then, Alonso, Leclerc in. So now the pit stops begin.
Lando's in the pits. Lando in the pits.
That's good. Clears the way for us, hopefully, to box on this one, and Lando doesn't go long like in Baku, refusing to pit unless we do. We've absolutely dropped Sainz here, so I wonder if actually he's not pitting because he's not pushing. Could be wrong. We're boxing though. This is a perfect strategy for us. Easy does it, no need to risk on the entry. And there it is, so Sainz does stay out as I expected. So does Russell, so Mercedes possibly going medium soft, which could be interesting. We might get held by Stroll here. It's a slow stop. 4.8, we just make it out ahead of Stroll. That was critical, but that was a really slow stop now.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Not a particularly great tyre, but I trust we can make it work. Either way, we're on the back foot now. Sainz is ahead of us, so we're going to have to push to get back in front. Definitely not ideal. Alonso just behind, so I wonder if he had a slow stop himself. Either way, we've got to try and make this work. Maybe letting Alonso go isn't the worst decision in the world. Interesting. Russell pits, so Mercedes are not going medium soft. And they had a chance to box Sainz there and get him out ahead of us, so this game on, we're going to burn battery. We're not going to let Alonso go. We're going to try and focus on our own race here. Alonso goes purple. Let's see if we can stay ahead of George. Should be able to. We had enough of a margin. Okay, we're safe. So we can let Alonso go. Just was worried there. I didn't want to get stuck behind too many cars. Well, let's let Alonso pull. And now Sainz in. So Mercedes not opting for the medium soft strap. Let's see then where we all filter out. This should be okay for us. I think we've done enough in these 2 laps to maintain the gap. Alonso absolutely cooking. There is Sainz, so we're going to be out ahead, so we've protected and covered ourselves off from that very slow stop. Norris 1 minute 7.2, incredible pace by the way. Verstappen P5 on the medium, so everyone's in play now. We can win this. We've got a margin. We've just got Sainz out of DRS range. Let's try and work with Alonso. Personal best, not quite purple. That's something we could look at attempting, to be fair, if we pass Alonso sooner rather than later. Norris is absolutely flying. We've still got tyres, which is good. But Sainz isn't going anywhere. Right, we're going to pass Alonso. I'm going to go for it. We're going to pull the trigger and try to snap the elastic again. Here we go. Oh, bit of contact on the way through there. Lock up into 1. We're going to sacrifice the corner to just get the exit. Alonso will have DRS here, so we're going to have to use everything to stay ahead, which we do. Right, let's push it now through the middle sector. Let's give it everything. Not able to get away just yet. We'll go PB. Not quite fastest lap though. I think that's going to be a tricky one to pull off without DRS assistance. Alonso's still there, to be fair, so this won't be easy. I think he's still got a bit of life in those medium tyres. This could be the lap where the elastic has snapped. We've had a great middle sector, not a great last corner, but it's enough. Now, do we have enough battery to try and nab the fastest lap as well? That would be ideal. Yes, we do. Woo. What a huge lap that is. Alright, come on now, let's just bring this home.
Yes, mate, we hit the target. Nice work.
Sonoda, out. Safety car? No. Thank God for that. Oh, another yellow though, turn 2. Oh, that was only brief. Normally, double yellows can trigger a safety car, but luckily, nothing. Right then, Sainz through on Alonso. He's caught him. Now the hard tyres are working good. Russell may catch. Norris P5, Verstappen P7 behind Norris and Leclerc. So right now this is looking pretty decent. We'll see now. All eyes on Max, and if he can get back into that 5th spot, that's the best he's going to get this race. It's the reverse of the sprint. Another yellow. Audi out of the race. Which one? Zhou. Yep, Zhou out. Still time for a safety car, but I don't even think we'll get one, luckily enough. Can't let off here. Sainz is keeping me honest. He's very quick. He's got a couple lap fresher tyres as well, which is helping him out. With one mistake from letting him into my DRS, and if that happens, I don't think I can shake him. So we cannot let him in under any circumstance. I'm just trying to keep it clean and tidy every single lap. Verstappen's stuck in 7th, so right now this is perfect for us. Let's just try and get this home. Here we go then, last lap of the race. We've managed to snap the elastic again. Sainz's constant threat eventually ran out. We were too quick this weekend. This was our race, and we come through with a great win. Verstappen is going to finish 7th, so that is a huge win for the championship.
Mega job, guys. What an amazing result. Thank you so much. So proud of you all. Let's keep pushing, let's keep pushing.
The longest winner streak of his career is over. Lewis Hamilton takes the checkered flag.
And what a drive today. Obviously keeps their championship hopes alive, and it's a warning sign, isn't it, for the rest of the competition. They're not going down without a fight. I loved what I saw out there today from them, and hopefully they can now get on a roll and continue this progression through the rest of the year.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
There it is, job done, a massive result today and huge for the championship because, as you can see, over the weekend, the combined points totals, we outscore Verstappen by 16 points. So, let's not go into too much detail on the race results, we'll go straight into the standings. We go into the finale at Vegas with a 7-point lead over Verstappen, so Max has to win and get the fastest lap to win the championship, and we can finish 2nd. That's the only way Max can win it if it's in his hands. As long as we, limit that fastest lap from happening, if we finish 2nd, Max gets 1st, we win the title. Equal on points, but we've won more races, so this could get spicy. In the Constructors, mathematically, I believe McLaren win the Constructors' Championship. So, 1 title ticked off the list, 1 to go. Championship number 10 to finish the series on a high, guys. So, like the video, subscribe, tune in next time for Vegas, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the meantime, guys. Check out the links down below. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen right now. And yeah, guys, 1 round remains. I'll see you then. Until then, take care. That's goodbye from me. Ciao.